Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Celebrity Soul Food flagship restaurant is now here in Ocala. Best-in-class service and legendary recipes. You'll be elevated with a classy design in this 3,800 square foot restaurant with a menu that has scratch-made dishes prepared with a VIP experience for every guest. Located at 2237 Southwest 19th Avenue, right on Easy Street. Celebrity Soul Food. This is food with soul.
Right now is the right time to update those roses in your yard. That means it's time to head to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. Come check the roses, including plenty of knockouts, drift roses, even those gorgeous hybrid tea roses. Prices starting at a super low $19.99. Bob still has plenty of his super popular flowering annuals, just $1.99 each, or a flat of 18 for just $19.99. It's citrus time, and Bob has citrus by the truckload, including lemon, lime, grapefruit, orange, tangerine, and many more. Prices starting at just $59.99. In the greenhouse, many items are discounted, like bird baths at 10% off, indoor foliage at 20% off. Get your share of the super fall savings now at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, 5 acres big on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, in the same blooming location for almost 70 years.
On Monday the 20th at 10:35 a.m., Allison Campbell with the Community Foundation of Ocala, Marion County will be Tom's guest to tell us about Give for Marion, a 24-hour online giving event September 21st from 10 a.m. to the 22nd, 10 a.m. Support local charities by going online to giveformarion.com or giveformarion.org. Again, be sure to listen at 10:35 Monday, September 20th, brought to you by the Community Foundation and WOCA The Source.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
Welcome back. As we wrap up the show, hey, the County Road 484 industrial area is being built at breakneck speed. That's without question. There's a 1.9 million square foot distribution center that houses the Dollar Tree Distribution Center. Now, found out in August, Coyote Crossing Holdings sold a portion of the 85-acre parcel on the north side of that area to John Alvarez Investment Group. The manager of Coyote Holdings, McGinley, said a group he created to sell the family farm. McGinley is working with investment groups to plan out the north side along the side where there will be commercial, retail, and restaurants to support a lot of the people that will be working on the south side. And to me, that makes all the sense in the world. If you have a lot of people out there, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of people out there working in these distribution centers and these warehouses, well, build some retail out there, build some commercial, build some restaurant, build some homes out in that area. North of the commercial section, there could end up being multi-family complexes, said McGinley. We haven't submitted the planning to the county yet, who added the final plans for the north side will soon go before the county zoning board commission. So there's a lot going on out there at the 484 industrial complex that they're going to put commercial, residential, retail, and restaurants to support that area as a mecca of industrial distribution, as they should. That it gives a chance for people to have, they got restaurants out there, so you don't travel far. It's more cost effective for the companies to have restaurants where people can go so they can get back and forth to work quicker. If your homes are located out there close to work and you're not driving all that time, that makes better employees getting to work on time. Retail shops and retail stores out there so people don't have to come all the way into Ocala. They can shop out there. It makes all the sense in the world. And that is what is in the works at the 484 Industrial Park. They're going to do retail, restaurants, and homes. They've all got that planned. They just need to submit it to the planning committee and work out dot the I's, cross the T's, and they're going to develop it out there. I told you the House Democrats on Monday released a package of tax increases. They are far lower than Joe Biden wanted. The Democrat proposal from the Ways and Means Committee is going to raise your top corporate tax rate from 21% to 26.5%. It's going to go up 5.5%. Still a 1.5% less than Joe Biden wanted at 28%. The top rate on capital gains would rise 5% as well, from 20 to 25%, instead of 39.6%, where Biden wanted the capital gains tax to be. There's going to be a 3.8% Medicare surtax on high earners. And the top capital gains rate would be 28.8%. Supposed to raise more than $2 trillion. It's a slimmed down version of what Biden wanted. It's done that way, people think, to appeal to the business-minded Democrats. It's done that way to appeal to Joe Manchin. Because Joe Manchin's the guy that can throw a wrench in all of this. He's a Democrat, but he's more of a conservative Democrat than any other Democrat. And he lives in a state where fiscal responsibility is something that they are very in tune to in West Virginia. So he just can't go out and spend, and expect to keep his job in West Virginia. Well, with the way the Senate is tied now, 50-50, if Joe Manchin doesn't vote with the Democrats can't get anything through the Senate. So they have to figure out ways of compromise within their own party to try to get things passed. The tax proposals do provide for responsible funding of our plans, according to Democrats. But some of the things they're funding, I don't know about. Addressing climate change, creating jobs, extending an expanded child tax credit. Why should you get tax credit for having babies? I understand you get a child credit. I understand that you need a child credit. But why are you going to expand that? Why are you going to give them more? Why are you going to give them more for children? I know personally, it's a family member of mine and in my extended family, that said literally at a family reunion about 6 years ago, the young lady has, and I say young lady, she's in her late 30s now. She has 6 kids. And now, I know they've done some things to address that you can't do this anymore, but at the time you could. She goes, well, why wouldn't I keep having kids? They keep giving me money for it. That's a problem, folks. Well, one of the things they're going to try to do is expand child tax credits. That's according to Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal. He also said that the corporate tax hike, pared back though it was, drew immediate fire. Conservatives are like, you're going to ruin corporations coming here. They're going to take their business elsewhere. The Democrats can afford only 3 defections though in the House and none in the Senate if they use a process called budget reconciliation that allows them to do it without the Republicans. Like I said, though, on Sunday, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, whose vote is crucial in the evenly split chamber, renewed his objections to the $3.5 trillion reconciliation plan. He said, I can't support a price tag that big. I don't see the urgency of moving ahead with it now. And I'm more concerned about inflation and the impact of higher corporate taxes. He was on CNN State of the Union. He floated a roughly $1.5 trillion headline number for the package. $2 trillion less than the Biden administration. And this is a guy that's on their side. This is a guy on their side. Sorry, caller, I didn't get your call back if you want to. 622-9622. Got about a minute. We can get you in. We can squeeze you in, caller, if you want to call back. 622-9622 is the number. But Joe Manchin is the swing vote here. He's the important vote. Now, if you hear the White House talk, they say that the proposal meets two core goals the president laid out at the beginning of the process. It does not raise taxes on Americans earning under $400,000, and it repeals the core elements of Trump tax giveaways for the wealthy, and corporations have done nothing to strengthen our country's economic health. Well, I beg to differ with you. Even Disney saw the advantages of Trump's tax cuts and gave all of their employees a $1,000 check because of their lower taxes they were having to pay. They spread that money out to their employees. But Joe Manchin is the key here, and he's having none of it. He thinks $1.5 trillion is more, and that's where the Republicans are at, about $1.5 trillion. He thinks that's a better tax situation and expenditure bill than $3.5 trillion. And he's the swing vote. If they don't get Joe Manchin's vote, everything's dead on arrival in the Senate. He's the Democratic senator that has all the pull now. Not the vice president who oversees ties and all. Joe Manchin is the man with power now. The Democrats know it and the Republicans know it. And Joe Manchin has said publicly he's not on board with a $3.5 trillion budget situation. He's just not. He's also worried about inflation and capital gains taxes being too much. Corporate taxes, not capital gains. Corporate taxes being too much. Because he's worried about how it will affect spending. He says he doesn't see the urgency for moving ahead on this $3.5 trillion budget. He said, I'm more concerned about inflation and the impact of higher corporate taxes on the U.S. That's a Democrat talking, folks. Joe Manchin, he's worried about inflation and the higher corporate tax on corporations in the United States. We're going to take a break. No, we're not. We're going to end the show. I'll talk to you tomorrow for Tuesday. Remember, it's Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, in tomorrow, as well as Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. You've been listening for the last 3 hours to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. I want to thank everybody for listening, all my callers and all my guests. We'll be back same time tomorrow. See you then.
International Airport. This is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Tropical storm Nicholas threatens the Gulf Coast with heavy rain. Texas, Mexico, and Louisiana are in its projected path, with the potential to drop 10 inches of rain in some areas. Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center said a hurricane watch was issued for the central portion of the Texas coast, with much of the state's coastline now under a tropical storm warning. Nicholas is expected to approach the middle Texas coast late Monday and could bring heavy rain that could cause flash flooding. The storm is currently over water, gaining strength in the western portion of the Gulf of Mexico. Republican candidate Larry Elder, who could unseat Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom in California's gubernatorial recall election, is already preparing to dispute the results, with an escalating talk over voter fraud in the days leading up to the election. That'll take place on Tuesday. There is no election integrity laws in California, and the entire state is overwhelmingly run by Democrats. USA Radio News.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/find. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I, live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/find. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find.
After the White House acknowledged vaccine mandates for American citizens and not for illegal immigrants all throughout the United States under Biden's open border policy, the United Nations is the next stop. Jeremy Scott reports.
The Biden administration is set to announce additional COVID-19 measures this week before the UN General Assembly.
This is what we've got to do to get to the next phase of this pandemic response so that we can get through this and get back to normal once and for all.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy tells CNN the Delta variant has been the game changer.
It has required us to take another set of actions, and that's what you heard the president announce. And there will be more actions that we continue to work on in the days ahead, especially on the global front, where we'll be taking steps and the president will be making announcements ahead of the UN General Assembly about additional measures that we're taking to help vaccinate the world.
The additional measures come on top of the executive orders issued last week that will affect an estimated 80 million private sector employees. From the USA Radio News Oregon Bureau, I'm Jeremy Scott.
We are USA Radio News.
If you think the COVID vaccine alone will protect you from the coronavirus, think again. As the deadly disease breaks through to people who are vaccinated, it's critical to take a reliable temperature reading with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's the only thermometer whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies versus the non-contact devices that have no supporting studies and produce a false sense of security. Vaccines are not enough, and thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Secretary of State Anthony Blinken will be answering questions on the Afghanistan exit debacle Monday. Questions by the House Foreign Affairs Committee in Washington is scheduled to start about 2 p.m. Eastern. Representative Greg Steube, the Republican from Florida, is part of the questioning body, and he does not believe the truth will be spoken at the hearings.
No, I think we're going to get more lies, more subterfuge. What I'm very curious to see today is our Democrats who served in Iraq or Afghanistan, who served in the war on terror, going to be willing to stand up against their own party for the American people today and ask tough questions and say tough things about where the American people are right now, about the complete debacle that occurred in Afghanistan, and that we don't leave Americans behind enemy lines. That's not what we do, and that's absolutely what this administration is doing, and now it's trying to push our government to negotiate with the Taliban.
College football roared over the weekend. Jeremy Scott reports.
Oregon and Iowa cracking the top 5. The Ducks, with their upset of Ohio State, jumped from number 12 to number 4. And an impressive defensive performance by Iowa over Iowa State pushed the Hawkeyes to the number 5 position. The top 3 spots remain Alabama, followed by Georgia and Oklahoma. In their defeats, Ohio State dropped to number 9 and Iowa State fell to number 14. Cracking the top 25 this week, Arkansas at number 20, BYU at number 23, and Michigan at number 25. Southern Cal, Texas, and Utah fall out of the top 25.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'm Lance Pry. This is USA Radio News.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen